mean, often when people talk about immigration and crime, they're lumping together both legal and illegal immigrants. Legal immigrants actually commit crime at very low rates, but illegal immigrants commit crime at very high rates. And when you mix those two together, you kind of obscure those very significant differences that are there.
Now, there are some claims that the murder rate, the crime rate seems to be lowering, and it seems to be in correlation to Trump coming on and the crackdown on illegal immigration. This video is going to go into a little bit more detail. Steve Bannon talks to John Lott, an awesome resource when it comes to gun statistics, gun crimes, and crime in general. Awesome resource. Let's check it out.
Are dropping. I actually thought the illegal alien invaders that were here are the most peaceful people in the country and actually making us a kinder and gentler nation, sir.
At least that's what we've been told over the last few years.
Right. Well, I mean, often when people talk about immigration and crime, they're lumping together both legal and illegal immigrants. Legal immigrants actually commit crime at very low rates, but illegal immigrants commit crime at very high rates. And when you mix those two together, you kind of obscure those very significant differences that are there. Look, even the Biden administration last year came out with a report from the deputy director for ICE saying that of the so-called non-detained individuals, about 7.4 million of them, 9% or 662,000 had criminal records. And that's probably an underestimate for many reasons, primarily because these were individuals who overwhelmingly voluntarily turned themselves in at the border. They're not the ones that you should be most concerned about. There are other issues about the fact that a number of countries were not providing information to the Biden administration on the criminal backgrounds for their citizens. Venezuela, for example, would be one country, but there were a number of others that were there too. So we had a large number of individuals who were released who we had no idea, no way of checking what their criminal backgrounds were.
But yet we were continually told how safe these people were. How could we even make a claim like that? How can anyone make a claim like that when you truly have no idea? Because there were so many gotaways, people that came through the border that were never detected, that were never apprehended, that were never stopped by ICE, never stopped by Border Patrol. But yet we are supposed to believe that there was nothing to be concerned about when you have a wide open border. Total insanity.
But Kash Patel just came out a week ago and said that we are on track right now for having the lowest murder rate ever historically in the United States. Part of that is simply because we're taking law enforcement more seriously. We've gone and moved FBI agents out of the Washington, D.C. area. We're making it so that the problems that the Biden administration was causing for local police departments around the country in terms of pushing DEI for hiring and promotions inside the department rather than getting people who could do the best job in those areas. Those things matter and make a difference in crime. But the other thing that matters is the deportations, and it does it in two ways. One is, obviously, they've been concentrating on removing criminal illegal aliens, but also even the criminals that you're not catching yet, they have an incentive to keep their heads down because they were worried that if they get caught committing a crime, then they'll be deported. And so one way to avoid that is simply to try to be quiet for some period of time and not draw attention to themselves that could be more likely to be arrested if they go and commit a crime now, as opposed to a crime that maybe they committed a year ago.
Makes sense.
Amazing analysis. Where do people go to get this article? We're going to push it out, but we want people to get your social media. You've got another piece on DEI. I want to get you back on tomorrow, the next day, in law enforcement.
Right.
Talk to me about
people can go to our
go on
website at crimeresearch.org, crimeresearch.org.
Like I said, an excellent website if you are unfamiliar with John Lott. What I appreciate was his pretty simple breakdown. He talked about how it was a multi-tiered impact on the crime rate due to stopping hiring people based on their gender or their ethnicity or their sexual preference, getting rid of that and simply seeking to hire the best qualified candidate, reallocating or using FBI for the purposes that they were meant to be used for, and not just keeping them in Washington, D.C. and going after grandmas that protested on January 6th, and not going after grandmas who were protesting on January 6th and making that into the worst incident that our country has ever seen. At least that was their claim. The fact that the FBI and law enforcement feel as if they're actually being supported by our government. And then you have people self-deporting and a lot of immigrants, illegals, especially the criminal ones, trying to lay low because they know that ICE is going to come get them. Tom Homan is going to come get them. Pretty impressive. Let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. But before you go, check out this video. I kind of talk about a similar topic and go into a bit more detail. I think you'll appreciate it.